Great day, honeys. Welcome back to the Hey Honey podcast. I am your host, Ashley Rochelle Wright. And baby, honey, y'all, we just want to have a chat with me today. I know in previous episodes, you all have seen that I've had guests who are sharing their story their way. And today I thought that I would offer a little bit about my story, where I am currently, things I'm working on, all of that. So the next few episodes will look like that. So you get to know me. I know. It's a pretty big deal. Anyway, y'all, as you all know, we love a good little drop of honey over this way. And so here is our drop of honey for today.
Take a little drop of honey. Good for the health, healing yourself. Take a little drop. And it's just sweet life on the right side. Sweet life with the right vibe.
Okay, so I was having this conversation with one of my girlfriends the other day, and in a wonderful little voice note, I told her that sometimes you have to realize when the above has gone beyond. And baby, honey, what I mean by that is sometimes we overexert ourselves. Sometimes we insert ourselves into people's situations, into their life, into their issues, into the little drama, honey. And we don't do drama over here. But sometimes we insert ourselves in these different spaces when really, sorry, I'm a little hair sort of lot. When really some battles, some fights, some situations are not ours to interject ourselves into. And so when you realize the above has gone beyond, that means I have done all that I can do. I have said all that I can say. I've made myself as available as I can make myself. And now the above has gone beyond. And at that point, honey, you just exit stage left. Or is it? Because, in theater is different. So anyway, but that is your little drop of honey for today. Be okay, embrace, accept when the above has gone beyond. All right. Very good. Okay, y'all. So today's episode. And y'all, I always have a good story for something. Oh, you know what, y'all? Let me tell y'all this too. Hold on. I'll put a little commercial or something in there. Probably not, because I don't have any commercials. All right, y'all. So what I did, this is like a segment I'm going to try out. You all let me know if you vibe with it. If you're like, girl, no, we don't have time for that. Either way, I'm going to do it because I want to do it. But let me know y'all's thoughts. So anywho, I decided to pull different stories from online to just to share like my thoughts, my opinions about it, all of those different things, because who doesn't want my opinion? You know what I mean? But anywho, so this one reads, would I be the butthole if I request an apology here? My friend, male 45, wife, who's a female between her 30s and 40s, asked me, I'm a female who's 30, the woman in the post, not me, the woman in the post, if we had an affair over his work instant message. What? Not just step into her woman to woman. I have not met his wife before. He and I are former coworkers. Baby, y'all not even at the same work job together no more. And he mentored me. We mostly email instant message about work issues that have come up in our respective jobs now. And our communication has been sporadic. So they're not even chit-chatting too hot. Okay. Boom, keep it moving. I reassured his wife that there has never been anything like that between us. As far as I know, there is no attraction on either end, and we are both in happy marriages with young children. I still feel mortified and gross about the situation. My friend has not addressed the issue with me beyond saying it's all good now and there is no issue. Baby, there is an issue, but let me just read it. I see a lot of issues. I don't know about y'all. I think that we should talk about it, perhaps set some limits perhaps set some limits or not communicate at all moving forward if it makes his wife uncomfortable. I would also like an apology from both of them, from both of them for all of the yuck. Maybe that word. Yuck. Do you ever hear a word? You ever hear a word and it's like the word sounds like, it feels and sounds like what the word is. Yuck, ooh, baby. I don't like it. Okay. I would also like an apology from both of them for all of the yuck this has caused me. I might be the butthole because I don't always give sufficient space and opportunity for forgiveness to occur naturally. I could give this more time to see if my friend and his wife take some accountability on their own. It has been about 3 weeks. It has been about 3 weeks or so since the friend's wife asked me about it. Baby girl, you're not getting nobody's apology. Now, I can't say you're wrong for desiring an apology. And let me just pause here too, because I think sometimes that's where we all just get real paused, okay, real stuck, It's when we've experienced something or something that someone else has said or done, an action they've taken, when it has impacted us, we have this expectation or this mindset that we are owed an apology, right? That they are going to apologize. I would apologize if I were in their situation. Baby, let me tell you what, honey. The world don't work like that. And baby, I hope I'm not the one to break it to you, but if I am, here you go. It's a gift from me to you. The world doesn't work that way. And if you are sitting and waiting for the apology, that also means that you're not progressing or moving forward somewhere else, right? Now, I'm all for people having conversations about how communication can look, what it should look like, da 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 da. And at this point, it's been 3 weeks, honey. It's not on his mind like it's on yours. If brother man came to you and said, no, it's all good now, or, don't worry about it, that would have been your moment and your time. And y'all listen to this because you have to take advantage of an opportunity in the moment. Not always, right? But that would have been the time to just allow for yourself to express how the conversation with his wife made you feel, what different thoughts are brought up. Hey, maybe we need to establish X, Y, or Z. But sometimes in those moments when you choose to just simply accept what someone is offering you, they're under the impression that they've done all that they need to do. But in this space, if you center yourself in this particular situation, baby, move on. It's best to keep it moving, honey, because if the man wanted to apologize, honey, he would have. He would have. He clearly didn't see the error in his ways. And another thing, honey, clearly the man got a lot going on to the house. He already got a lot going on at home. He's not trying to apologize to you. Baby, let me move on. Let me move on, y'all. All right, welcome to the episode, honey. Welcome to the episode. So, y'all, in this episode, and again, future episodes will be, as you all see, I'm solo dolo, but it will be me just sharing more about life, what I'm learning, in the hopes that it's something that you connect with, something that someone you know connects with, or just overall, just something that feeds you, that nourishes you, and that allows you to know that you are simply a human having your human experience, and that while we may think a lot of things are unique to us, they aren't. There's someone else who's experiencing the same thing. So I've jotted down a couple of notes, my script, if you will, and I wanted to focus today on hyper independence. I know. And I know it's been all over the waves, all over the internets, all over Beyonce's internets, Bill Gates' internets. Not Bill. We're not doing Bill. Al Gore's internet, whoever, honey. Tabitha Brown's internet, my internet. It's been all over the internet, okay? But the reason I wanted to focus on it, I was talking with one of my friends earlier. Hey, Monique. And I was sharing with her that while I don't think that I identify as being hyper independent, she cut me off quickly. She said, oh, but you are. I said, if you let me finish. While I don't think I identify as that, I do know that I have hyper independent tendencies. And I know that it has not been like a choice that I was conscious of. It wasn't like a choice that I sat down one day and said, hey, I'm going to be hyper independent. And it's just going to be me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I is all I got in the end. That's what I found out. And it ain't no need to cry. I took a vow that from now on, I'm going to be my own best friend. You're welcome. But anywho, so let's define hyper independence. I'll share with you how it has shown up in my life, and I'll also just share like why I desire to work away from that, why I'm actively working away from it. And baby, if you vibe with it, you vibe with it. And I think you will. Okay, so hyper independence is an extreme form of self-reliance where an individual compulsively avoids relying on others for support or assistance. In reading the definition, the idea that this is something that folks do compulsively, right? That really stuck out to me. And it also shows me how the subconscious works. Like, again, decisions I've made, or me rejecting support, assistance, asking for help, reaching out if I'm having like an off day, emotionally being so independent, it wasn't something that I set out to do. I think that if we allow for ourselves to reflect back onto childhood, onto different situations, and to tie that in, most times hyper independence can be a result of abandonment, broken trust, betrayal, and it blocks us from being able to form certain connections. Now, I don't know that I've had that in terms of me being able to name those right now, like abandonment issues or betrayal. I think that for me, I grew up in a household that I would describe, and my siblings may think differently. My mother may think differently as well. I grew up in a household that was not, I didn't feel like emotions were available. I didn't feel like emotions were a real thing, right? There were like the core ones, like mad, glad, happy, sad. But in terms of feeling disappointed or feeling fearful, I don't know. It's that the emotions existed, the feelings existed, but there weren't conversations around them. There weren't conversations about how are you doing? Oh, like you didn't do well on the spelling test. How is that? How is that? And I think that just naturally the absence of something, for me at least, meant I don't know if I can trust it. I don't know if I understand it. I don't know if that's accessible to me because it's absent. Do you follow? And so when I think back to childhood, again, not thinking about abandonment and things of that nature, but just thinking about the absence of, I learned early on that my emotions were my own to deal with. They were mine to sort through, not directly, right? That wasn't said to me, oh, those are your feelings to work out. But in my brain as a child, it seemed easier for me to rely on myself, for me to process on my own, to think through, to help myself heal and mend. And so specific examples of that would be, I think I was maybe 12. Yeah, I think I was 12. So my mother, hey girl, my mother had, she birthed a total of 6 children. I feel like there were other kids she helped to raise, but in terms of some that she birthed, so there were 6 of us total, and around 12 years old, or maybe like 11-ish, my oldest brother, so my mother's firstborn, he was diagnosed with cancer. And so a year or so goes by, and I could be getting that wrong. The brain does what it wants to do. But a year or so later, he passes away. And I think in my mind, what I remember most is he's here one day and then he's gone the next. And so that taught me that loss or large life happenings, I guess, that is where emotion is allowed. That is where you're able to cry. That is where you're able to be sad. That is where you're able to feel. And so again, it's not a direct message, very indirect, but I carried that through life. And there were other losses prior to my brother's passing. But in terms of that being one that was significant, that in my brain, it feels very, or the way I remember it feels very much just like cut and dry. Here one day, gone the next. There's not a lot of conversation about him afterwards, just a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. And I remember just dealing with those like on my own. Ooh, not the mic. Dealing with those like on my own. And I think that at that age, and again, prior to, I just carry that same thing through life. Even to, and I think I posted this just the other day about feelings not being forbidden. They felt very forbidden, almost because there was not emotional, what's the word, you all? I don't know that my mother had the emotional capacity for 6 children, let alone by the time a child passes away, and then you still have these other children that you are supposed to show up for, and you're also supposed to show up for work, and you're also supposed to do this, that, and the third. And if I think back to my grandmother, whom I don't know a lot about her emotionally, but I learned years ago that if a parent hasn't offered me something, it isn't because they don't want to, it's because they didn't have it themselves to give, right? And so as I look over my mother's life, and I'm bringing all this together to the hyper independence, but as I look over my mother's life and what information I do know and how I'm in this space now of getting to know her as a woman versus, as my mom, I'm able to see that there was a lot at a very young age that she had to work through. So first child at 18, another child, a couple years later, another child, and then there's me. And then there's me, the highlight of her life. I'm kidding a little bit. But then there's me. And I think about even the situations around my coming here. So my mother and my father, they're together. My father, unfortunately, was killed while my mother was still pregnant with me. And so I just think about, here's this woman who has 3 children, right? At this point, my brother isn't sick, but she has 3 children. There's a 4th on the way. A little angel sent from up above. I am though. But, there's a 4th on the way. And now she has gone through this loss. I don't know what other losses she had already experienced by that age, right? So here's this other thing. And now you're trying to figure out life and plan life and live life while expecting this child. So going through your own grief, having your own issues, your own stressors, I'm sure, right? And so I think that when I've reflected on the circumstances around my coming here, my being here, there's some very interesting feelings that come up. And then there's some other feelings that are very natural, right? Very, maybe some feelings of sadness or some feelings of compassion for my mother. But all of that, just again, in those 4 children, and then going on to have 2 more children, different life things happening, siblings passing away, so on and so forth. I just think about how I could not pull from her emotionally because sister girl didn't have it to give. Now, present day, love talking to her. Love it, love it, love it. But again, this is just as I reflect, and I could be totally wrong about some of these things. I could be completely wrong about how I'm remembering certain things. But from my vantage point, emotions were not the focus. Survival was the focus. Provision was the focus. Making sure that we got to school, making sure that the basic needs were met. And even though I consider my emotional needs a basic need in terms of feeling like I belong or feeling supported and feeling loved, I don't think that was like the priority. I think that, and I was sharing this with someone the other day, when I think about love, and that's like a different episode where I'm going to just talk about just what I'm learning in terms of how loved I am, like present day. It's honestly overwhelming to think about like how much people care about me. And it's overwhelming in the best of ways. But anyway, I don't want to digress too much because that's another episode. So make sure y'all tune in. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh no. Thinking about how, it was understood that I was loved simply because I was being provided for. It was understood that I was loved because I have food, I have shelter, I have clothes, I have the last minute science projects where she's going to go out and get supplies and do what needs to be done. I have those things. And I think, again, the absence of certain things, the absence of the words, the absence of physical affection. And again, y'all, I could be remembering so much of this wrong, but this is just based on what I remember right now. I think the absence of those things also taught me that I can live without them, that I can survive without them, that those are not the focus. And tying that back into the hyper independence, for me, I think it was more so there was an emotional independence that I used to wear as a badge of honor, where it's just like, oh no, I can resolve this within myself. I don't need anybody's help. I'm not weak. I'm not this. I'm not that. I got it. I can do this on my own. And even now in this moment, I think some of that too, of course, is a very learned behavior of just not seeing other people as I was growing up, rely on other people or rely on each other emotionally. Sometimes, we rely on other people financially or, for different outings or trips or whatever, even for safety and stuff. But I think emotionally of just that being vulnerable with someone about this is how I'm feeling. And I do think that's in part because people were not even able to describe or connect with what they were feeling. Right. So anyway, so I think with the emotional, being emotionally hyper independent, is that a thing? I think that's like the category that I would have placed myself in, to where it's just, I'm not going to make room for these feelings out, but I can process them on my own. No one else has to know. I'll head out and I'm going to be all of that I am, big energy, fun personality, available, accessible, and supportive of other people, all the while having my own concerns, but not thinking that other people are supposed to support and help me through that. So now, present day, when it comes to what my friend Monique was trying to tell me about myself, when it comes to just being hyper independent, I was letting her know that it wasn't a conscious decision, as I've said before. And so she gave me an example of Monique attends like most of my pop-ups. I do journaling pop-ups locally. I go to a space. Hey, this is where I'm going to be for an hour or so. Let's write together. Let's just have a space of release. And so Monique attends like almost all of those. And almost every single time she'll ask, oh, like, can I help you with this? Can I help you do that? My automatic response there and anywhere else in life, any other area is, oh, I got it. Oh, no, I got it. Oh, no, I'm good. I got it. 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 You got it. And so what she offered me during that conversation, after we laughed about it, because again, honey, you got to have friends who are going to tell you about yourself. But after we laughed about it, I told her that that is a space that I am actively and intentionally and hopefully gracefully navigating. of just not wanting to be hyper independent, not wanting to be overly independent. And y'all hear me. Okay, hear me. It's not like hyper independent in the way of like, oh, I'm an independent woman, I don't need no man. Baby, I'm not on that. Okay, I'm not on that. But yeah, I really tickle myself. I don't know if y'all know this or not. Baby, I can giggle about myself all day. But anyway, so yeah, it's not the idea of that, like that type of independent, but I do know that just who I am right now as a person, that's going to spill over in those type of relationships as well. It does so professionally, in platonic relationships, and I'm sure in romantic ones. And so in that, it's like knowing that I'm aware that, hey, I don't ask for help, that I don't allow for myself to receive the help when I know that it's available to me. It's not, again, I'm very loved. I'm very well taken care of, surrounded by some of the most incredible people like that God himself has created and designed, right? I mean, I guess he's dealing with every person. Shout out Big G. But anyway, so in that, it's not that there aren't people who are waiting to do and to support and to help and to listen. It's the idea of me just simply not being vulnerable enough, open enough, or again, not realizing that I have access to that. And something I was sharing with my coach maybe a couple of weeks ago, and then I was talking to my friend Demi about it. And it sounded so arrogant, y'all, when I had like the realization, and then I kind of got over that, I guess. But there's this thing that happens in my brain where if someone brings something to me or someone needs help with something, it's not a matter of it inconveniencing me, but I would filter things through. Okay, I'll give you all an example that most people can relate to. So if someone needs to borrow money, right? They may come with a request, and in my brain, even if I know I'm saving for a house, or, oh, I want to pay down this credit card, or, oh, I actually want to put X number of dollars more in my savings or whatever, in my brain, what I would tell myself very subconsciously, y'all, is that I can recover from this quicker than they can. So it's almost like having an insanely high amount of confidence in my ability to recover and my ability to make up, whatever it is that I have shared or provided to someone else, and having a lack of confidence in their ability to figure it out, or having a lack of confidence in their ability to handle whatever the consequence is of them not receiving this money, or not, having transportation, or whatever the case is. And in that, again, it felt very arrogant because I don't count myself to be an arrogant person. And in that moment, it was very much like, oh, like I think that I think here of me, and I'm thinking here of other people based on like a situation, never from a dignity or, worth standpoint, because we don't do that over here. We don't do that over here, but from a space of, I know I got me. I know that I can rely on me. I know that if me loaning this money or me doing X, Y, or Z means I got to then do this, and I'm going to do it because I got me at the end of the day, and not even allowing for people around me, not allowing for myself to support people differently, of, helping them strategize, figuring out all the things. It was very much centering them and telling myself, oh yeah, no, I can recover easily. If it's a matter of time, right? Using time, spending time to go and do something for someone, or on behalf of someone, that also became the same thing. Okay, well, I can switch this around. I can recover. They need this done. I can figure out the time piece later. I can stay up, I can stay up a little bit later. I'm good. It's fine. Pushing my own priorities to the side. And in that, again, as it relates to hyper independence, it's the idea that I can do so much more than what someone else can do, because I'm me, because I got me, because I've got my back, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do. Versus it being like tapping into even the people who are asking, but tapping into them to say, hey, how can we strategize for this to not be an issue? Or actually, I do have this going on, but I can help you here. It's the automatic, yes, I'm here, I'm available, I'm accessible, let's go and make this happen. And it was such an interesting discovery because, again, I didn't like it because I didn't realize that's how I was thinking of, oh, I can handle this more than they can, right? Or the idea of like, here's the thing, because I feel like I rambled some there, but here was like the core of it too. Yes, I could recover, quicker, better, whatever. that's like the story I was telling myself, that I can recover quicker, but also I can handle this and they can't. That's what it came down to. Thank y'all for sticking with me right there, because honey, it got a little rocky, a little blurry. I didn't know which way I was headed, but but yeah, with that, it was very much I can handle this, because in my mind, I can handle everything. I've handled everything. It's fine. It's cool. I can handle this and they can't. So let me make whatever adjustments I have to make in order to support them and be there for them. All the while, y'all, again, still not receiving from them. Not because I'm not because they aren't accessible and they don't have the desire, simply because I'm not making the ask. I'm not making the request. And so then you look back over life. If you've ever found yourself in these type of situations, you look back over life and it's really a thing of like, who has been there for me? Who has had my back? Baby, I got a list of them. That's my list. That's my scroll. I've got a list of people who have been there for me, who have supported me in ways they probably would not even know was actual support. But also, how eager are they? How have I kept them on the sideline from supporting in a way that actually like works for them and for me? Because sometimes you'll look back over life and it is a thing of like, oh wow, like I've done all these things for other people, and if I left their life, they would feel the impact, but would I feel that same impact if they left mine? Sit with that for a minute, baby. Figure it all out, because I feel like I got a little jumbled up in there, honey, myself. So y'all can work it out. Y'all can work it out. And that would be a great segue to y'all into talking about like who I am as a coach. And so for me, when I think about, so I focus on Black women and I give Black women space to figure it all out. Everybody's it is different. But what I learned, and the whole entire reason that I wanted to focus on that, is because I am a Black woman and my journey to figuring it out was one that was very isolated. It was a journey that had me overwhelmed and panicky and just anxious and not super sure of how something was going to turn out. And some days wanting to fall apart. But could it also be, and the answer is yes, even though you don't know the question, could that journey and that road and that path to figuring it all out be one that is centered, or that one that has you enveloped by community and supported by community and reaching out to people and asking for help and accepting that help, versus it being, I got me, I'm going to figure it out, I don't need anyone else's help. And I say this too, because I think sometimes it's not even a matter of, oh, I don't need someone else's help. Sometimes at the core is I'm not worthy of someone else's help. For me, at least, it was a thing of I should know how to do. I shouldn't need help for this. I'm this age and da 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 da. Maybe says who? We're designed to live in community. And the moment that we allow for ourselves to be extracted from community and tucked away in isolation, now having periods and season of seclusion and really, buckling down, so to speak, and really connecting with yourself, that is so healthy and it's very important. But when we're isolated because we're feeling ashamed or we're feeling afraid or we are feeling desperate and we don't know which way to go, that's a whole different situation, a completely different story. And so what I would offer is allow for yourself to figure out how. And baby, if you don't know how, let me know. Talk to me. I can definitely help. But figuring out how can I use my community more in this thing called life. Because the more that you tap into them, honey, I'm a living witness. The more that you tap into them, you will find yourself accomplishing more, achieving more, and honestly, y'all feeling more settled. You don't want to get to, so say if you have a goal in mind, right? Get like one of your biggest goals, like right now for the rest of this year, get it in mind, or even for the rest of this month, maybe for the end of the week, for today, whatever it is, get it in mind. Even though you can figure it out all on your own and you don't need anyone else's help, what is the journey going to feel like? What are you going to feel like? What is your body going to feel like? What is your brain going to go through at the end of that? Once the goal is accomplished, what do you want to feel? And if you can't say that right now, what you want to feel is how you're feeling now, something's not right, right? Like if you're feeling panicked and overwhelmed and just under so much pressure and just confused and you're losing sleep and you just can't focus, if that's what you're feeling now, you continue to plant those same seeds along the journey, honey, what you think the end of it gonna look like? Versus, versus if it can be one of ease and one of enjoyment. It doesn't mean that, challenges or moments won't pop up, but What if it is one of just openness and trust? What if that's the journey to where once you get to the end of it, you're like, oh, I would totally do that again, versus, oh, I never want to do that again. You can be satisfied with the result, but can you enjoy the result? Can you be excited about it? Can you embrace it? Here's the thing. Here's another thing. Would you want for your closest, dearest friend, or your parents, or your child, or your niece, or your cousin, or whomever your most favorite person is, would you want for them to experience the same exact things that you're experiencing as they're trying to figure it out? And baby, honey, if your answer is no, figure out ways that you can just invite people into the space, trusting and believing that even if it takes trial and error, you're going to find the people who are designed to support you in this space of life. That's it. That's all. Baby, I can only tell you what I know. But yeah, I mean, it's true. I can only tell you what I know. But yeah, give yourself that gift of just letting people in and of just letting people love you. And that's, again, another episode where I'll kind of delve into that, but just letting people love you, letting people support you, letting people be there for you. I was sharing with someone the other day for my 33rd birthday. I reached out to some friends and I was like, hey, y'all, I think I want to have a birthday party. Baby, you would have thought I said I was running for a little president, okay? Or something. They were so excited, y'all. They were eager. They were, oh, what can I do? Okay, I can make the invitation. Okay, I can do this. I can do that. People came around, did the things, had the best time ever. I had the best time ever just because I chose to share that I actually wanted to celebrate myself. They were eager, y'all. Years of friendships, years and years and years of knowing them and loving them. And in a simple text and me vocalizing, hey, this is something I want to do. There were no thoughts about it. There wasn't like, oh, you sure? Maybe not. I don't know if I can make it. Hands down, whatever I got to do, I'm going to be there. And what that showed me is people are eager. They're waiting on the sidelines, baby. They are waiting to support you and to invest in you and to love on you if you would let them. So give yourself the gift of letting those around you love you. Oh, honey. And just you should let them love you. I ain't gonna sing the rest of it. But yes, y'all, that's it. But yeah, so I just want for y'all to think about hyper independence, where it falls for you, and even just uncovering like the root of it, and knowing and understanding, embracing and accepting that there are people who want to help you, who want to support you, who want to love you, who want to assist you in so many ways. I guess an opportunity, so to speak, that my friend Monique offered was, she said if she goes like to Publix, they may ask you, oh, like, do you want help taking your grocery items out to your car? She said, and that she started to say yes to them. Does she need the help? Nope, she doesn't. And when she said that, yeah, it unlocked something inside of me of like, oh, like what ways can I set myself up to have, like what practical things can I do to make asking for help? Well, honey, let's just first start with accepting, because asking is it's a whole nother thing, but just accepting the help to where if someone is offering a very practical exercise, something that you can just go out and do at any given time, just to build the habit, right? To build the muscle of saying, yes, I would actually like help. That would be amazing. That'd be so helpful. Thank you for offering. Going to Publix, having them take your groceries out to the car, having them unload it, and just practicing that. And baby, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out here to the little Publix or wherever your local food little supply market is, and just be okay with being okay. I'm thinking, I guess now too, but yeah, just being okay with accepting the support, accepting the assistance, and then gradually working that up to even being able to express like what it is that you need from those around you, from those that you're connected to, from those who love you, and just being okay with vocalizing those needs. And I guess if I allow for myself to think about it even more, or I guess if I question myself in this moment, like, why don't I express the need, or why has it been challenging to ask for help? I just think that it all comes down to, what was modeled and the absence of, because it's a thing of, if it's foreign, if it's unfamiliar, like, how can I trust it? How can I really know it? How can I connect with it? if it isn't something that is remotely, if it's not something that's remotely familiar. So I'll also say this for those who have friends who maybe are hyper independent, or just maybe not even hyper, right? Just maybe have more independent tendencies than not. It's not your responsibility, right, to help them out of that space. But if you see an opportunity for them to where they do need help and they just aren't asking for it, those can be some situations that you can insert yourself into. Now, whether or not we're going to take it, baby, that's a whole other thing. But at least we know. At least we have evidence that this person is making themselves available to support, to help, to offer, some sort of assistance. But yeah, that's it, y'all. That is it. That is all, honey. I am hopeful that this episode at least got you thinking. Okay. I love conversations, y'all. I love a good chat. And so, So this felt very conversational to me. Maybe it's just like a little personal diary versus it being, it's a podcast episode because it's getting published, honey. Okay. But yeah, I would love for you to identify where and how you can lean on the support that you have. And y'all, I'm going to say this and I'm really going to go. It's about like building that trust, like with self, but then also with the other person, the other party, whomever else is involved, and not testing. I don't believe in testing people. Don't be out here testing people, y'all. But in terms of just the allowing for yourself to center you. I'm going to ask for help because I need help. And if this person doesn't offer it, it doesn't mean that someone else won't, right? Sometimes we have a blanket of sorts. If something happens and, we generalize, okay, everyone's like that. None of my friends are going to help. No one's going to be available. And it's just like, no, that one particular person wasn't. So give yourself the gift. I'm all about gifts in this particular space of life in terms of what gifts I can offer to myself. So give yourself the gift of just choosing small ways to build trust with the people around you. Not trying to anticipate them letting you down, but just centering you. I'm giving myself the gift of simply asking for help, of receiving help. And then before you know it, y'all, the balance, I feel more settled in life as I've been on this journey of just accepting help and being open and being more vulnerable. It's lit over here. It's awesome. It truly is, because you realize just how much you don't have to rely on yourself. It doesn't mean you're not reliable. It doesn't mean you're not dependable. It doesn't mean that you're not resourceful and that you've got your own back. It simply means that while I can do so many things for myself, I don't have to. And that I get to allow for those around me who want to support me, who want to love me, who want to help me, who want to encourage me, who want to uplift me, who want to be there for me, letting them do that. Because if not, you're blocking those connections that can be formed. So, and we're not designed to live, by ourselves or in isolation. We're designed for a community. So that's it. That's all, y'all. That's it. That's all. I hope that today's episode brought you some good news and one step closer to freedom. Peace out.
Let's go. Personal growth. So sweet and it's good for the health. Be free. If it's on this podcast, then take a little drop. Celebrate a safe place. Be free. Get on this podcast and take a little drop. Be the tempo fast with flash non-stop. Like rocking this podcast and take a little drop. When I'm life on the right side, on the right side, from the right